Now we're recording. Kombonation. Oh man, what an excellent time to get a mobile notification. Let's see if we can go ahead and
Just keep it rolling, man.
turn my volume down on my phone all the way to silent, which is also the same thing as my webcam currently. Damn, I had it in a nice little spot too. All right, Kombonation. This is Grown B yet again. Batman 123 Rock and LB Venom, and we are reviewing episode 5 of WandaVision. Let's see. Episode 4 was really, really good. I was wondering how or if they would be able to top it, and by golly, it believe
My
it
golly
seems as
gee.
though they have. I genuinely I don't want to get in the rhythm of talking too much right off the rip, so I'm gonna let these guys just kind of talk about how they what they thought about the episode. Obi, you go first. Kind of let us know what you thought, and then we'll go to you, Batman, and I'll go last.
The episode itself, good.
Mm-hmm.
Started off in the WandaVision world, and I was like, this is going to be a WandaVision world episode, which is fine
Mm-hmm.
as long as they can keep pushing the narrative forward.
Yeah.
And it was not that the entire episode, which I was actually quite happy about
Yeah.
because I just want to know everything now.
Yeah.
I don't
Definitely.
have to wait to see what the people on the outside of Westview are doing. I want to know everything, and they did a good job of showing both realities. I guess
Yes.
I'll word it
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Um, Overall, great episode.
Go ahead, Batman.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. It was such a good episode. I mean, I was thinking the same exact thing. I was like, how are they gonna top it? Like, are they gonna top it?
And honestly, I really didn't expect
They,
them to top it either. Like I was thinking, yeah, keep the momentum going, but I thought that they would cool off a
uh-huh.
little bit, do a couple of smaller
Yeah,
things, and then build into it. Like in the last couple of minutes of the episode, and which technically they kind of did, and obviously we'll talk about that later. But I mean, there were some hard hitters all throughout the episode that I really didn't expect to see throughout the entirety of the episode. My bad for
Yes.
cutting you off. Were you gonna say anything else about your initial impressions, Batman?
I mean, I just want to add on to what you said. I was not expecting, like, literally any of the, because
Yeah.
there were quite a few scenes they showed in the sneak peek teases
Uh huh.
that they released recently. I did not expect it would be in episode 5. I expected this to be like episode 8.
Mm.
So I was blown away. I was like, whoa. So yeah, I love this episode.
So am I tripping, or did
yes.
or that character,
Go.
the character that lives next door, did she appear like much slimmer in this episode to y'all?
Um, I don't know.
I don't.
That kind of yeah, kind of no. That might have just been some of the
Just the
clothing that she
outfit.
was wearing
Yeah.
for
I
the
don't know.
time
If, yeah.
periods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I know like when the show first started off, they were wearing kind of those fluffy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, wadded out long skirt dress type things just around the house or whatever. But and
Yeah.
then this is what the very first time you see her, she's in nice fitting like yoga
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
That's
So
probably it. I was really happy with the episode. I expected a slow build, and I think that they kind of deserved to do a little bit of a slow build. They had two really good back-to-back episodes, and so oh, you know what? I should probably move my screen over to um, the Facebook page just in case people are present leaving comments. Um, But I think they deserved a slower episode, but they went right into continuing to build on the momentum that they pulled up in the previous episode. I thought that was fantastic. And so all in all, it was man, it was great to me. Um, so yeah, key points and moments. Who wants to start with kind of some of the key points and moments that you guys saw?
Um, man. So. key moments. Let's see. So the twins, they grew up quite a bit in the episode,
Yeah.
and um, a little fun fact for you. I don't know if you guys know, but in the comics, she has two twins. It's Wiccan and Speed are the names of her kids in the comics. So
Two, two. She has a set of
Two sets
twins.
of twins, or just one set of twins?
one set of twins.
Okay, so
Sorry.
just
Yeah.
two children.
Okay.
Yeah, she has two kids,
Okay.
and Wiccan and Speed are their aliases in the comics,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. And it seems like it could be headed towards that way by the end of the show if they keep growing at such an exponential rate, which I
Mm.
think would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because if they did want to do Young Avengers, but anyway, off that point,
Actually,
one
stay there a little bit. Because I do want to comment on, just since you brought that up. One of the things I thought was
okay,
really interesting, is I mean, I guess we don't. Well, I guess I can just bring this to you guys. The whole time, I thought that Wanda's mind was just kind of messing with everything, and since she's so unstable, she was just aging her kids up uncontrollably. But then you see, kind of towards the end, you know, something crazy is kind of like going on. Their emotional state is kind of bouncing all over the place, and it gets revealed that like they have actually been aging themselves up in order to not have to go through emotional distress, right? Do
Hmm.
y'all think that that was also still a product of Wanda's powers, or do y'all think that was more so a you just created two really powerful beings, but now you've actually kind of created them out of your actual control, and they really are just getting to kind of do what they want now?
I'm just gonna go what was stated in the show of that they said who these kids, what citizens are these, and I think it was Monica that
Oh.
said no. Anything that's going like those kids are hers, like
Mm.
those are hers. So I don't think. I mean, a product of their powers in the sense of they've gained powers just from her having powers,
Mm.
but because she also can't. It seems like she really can't control like their thoughts or anything like that either. I think as a
Mm.
baby, she was saying like take a nap or whatever. And they just kept on crying. And she was just like, okay, like,
Mm.
all right.
Okay.
And then, like, when she was talking about Vision being at work and they're like, it's Monday or it's Saturday. And she was like, no, it's Monday. And they're like, no, it's Saturday. And she was just like, okay, yeah, it's still Saturday. You're right. Like, now
Okay.
I can't change this.
Yeah, okay. So it does seem like she's kind of almost disrupted her own um power in a bit by like creating another set of powerful beings who I guess obviously don't have as much control as she has, but they got a little control over some of the stuff they want to do.
They have control over
Mm,
themselves
yeah.
at the very least.
Okay. My
um,
bad, Batman. Go ahead with. I think you were
no,
moving on
you're
to a
good.
different point.
Yeah. So obviously this is a spoiler, but so they have a great idea. They're like, so anything we send in there goes from the time. But what if we get a drone from the 80s and send it in
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
And then
Hmm.
they send it in there and they're like, we see her. You see her eyes getting red? She looks pissed. And they're like, take the shot. And she's like, whoa, no, don't do that.
yeah.
And
Monica,
they take the
Monica
shot.
saying no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And oh man, that was such a dumb idea. Honestly, on their part, that was not a smart decision. Because what was they going to do? She has. She's so
And it kind of
powerful.
goes to show just how kind of ruthless Sword will be because it wasn't like
Hmm.
when they shot that missile, it wasn't like it was just planning on killing Wanda. Her two kids were standing right next to her, so you shooting off. It's
Mm-hmm.
not
Right.
even like you were shooting a bullet. You
Yeah,
shooting off.
yeah,
I mean, you shooting them at the kids. Also, it's like you
Hmm.
just didn't care that there were kids there.
yeah,
Not really having an understanding if these kids are a product of her or if these kids are still citizens. Like you've got like you've had one person go ahead and say like no, those are hers, but you don't actually know. Like those characters in in WandaVision don't actually know. Like those people in Sword don't fully 100% know that. So you were just willing to kill two kids just to
Hmm.
get rid of a threat. Like
yeah.
Hmm.
I definitely. I mean, putting that in perspective, I totally get and understand that. but like outside of like the consideration of the kids, like, man, I could understand why they might be taking their first one or two opportunities to take Wanda out if necessary. Because, like, keep in mind, this little event. I mean, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's not the first time that Wanda has done something that
Mm-hmm.
endangered people, and or hurt people. Luckily Captain America was on her side and everything about it. But the events of Marvel
Civil War.
Civil War, I mean, they're not entirely Wanda's fault. I feel like that would have happened
No.
regardless. However, she was a very big catalyst for that incident based on some of the things that
Mm-hmm.
happened, right? And so now we have this situation. I don't know how everybody's memory works since we had the whole thing with the snap and then the bring him back. But as far as it seems, history has remained intact. And so they're thinking, okay, this is what you did a few years ago in Markovia or wherever they were. Um, and
Lagos.
okay, cool. I don't know where I'm getting the word Markovia from. Um, oh,
Black
From
Lightning.
DC.
that's the Black
But
Lightning
Black
stuff.
Lightning.
What are the Accords? The what Accords?
Sokovia.
Sokovia,
Okay, that's what
yes.
I'm getting mixed up. Okay, but yeah, so I can honestly understand why they are reluctant to just see what happens and just see what Wanda decides to do.
Mm-hmm.
However, Obi, as you were saying, you don't know who those kids actually are. Those could be real kids who, for the most part, as far as you understand, they are hostages in this situation
Mm-hmm.
you know and so
And,
yeah.
and on the cool, on top of that, they know from Monica she's controlling everybody, and it's painful to have her controlling everybody. And you have no idea how deep into this mind the control goes to where if that connection is just severed at the snap of a finger, is just going to cause permanent damage to everybody in there and or kill them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. um
She could possibly do that
yeah.
if things go wrong.
It's like if
Um.
she has a flash of pain all of a sudden while dying, what's to say that they're
Yeah.
not gonna have a flash of pain all of a sudden and then die?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was a snap decision from the director of Sword, which is pretty much
Yeah.
on the same scale as Shield, to
Definitely a
not
snap decision.
even bother have kind of thought about the ramifications of these decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know exactly what you're saying with
Mm-hmm.
we just don't know what's going on, man. This is a threat that we gotta take out, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you have
You
no
still
idea
got to
what's
be
gonna
more
happen.
calculated than that. Even in that
Yeah,
situation, you got to be more calculated. Go ahead, Batman.
Um. So I did want to go back around to Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, she also worked with Ultron. She was also an enemy at that point.
Oh crap, I
She
totally forgot
mind
all about
controlled
that.
Hulk. She mind controlled Hulk. Remember?
she
She
mind
drove
controlled
him
all of them.
crazy.
Well, she was a
Well,
mind
yeah,
control, but she did some crap to
mind
all of them. I
control.
mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's kind of responsible for the Hulk destroying. I can't remember where it was. Um, but
I,
wherever it
I,
was, she was responsible. She was
I
responsible.
like it what y'all saying. Like it's like, man, Wanda, you have a history of doing some crap, but like it's
Mm-hmm.
also like what Monica said is, yeah, she was working with Ultron against the Avengers, and then she gained their trust and became an
Hmm.
Avenger.
Yeah.
Like the
That's
people that
true.
we rely on to save the world, she became like they said, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
you're a good person, join us.
Mm-hmm.
And then that crap that happened in Lagos with the Wakandan emissary, that wasn't even her fault. Bomb went off.
That
She
was
tried to
not her
contain it and
fault.
get it away from the
Hmm.
just try to get away from the crowd, and her powers just weren't up to snuff at that point in time. And she got away from the main crowd at the ground, but not far enough away from the buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I get that.
yeah. So they actually did. That was Easter egg I was talking to you guys about. In the commercial, they have Lagos. It's like a paper towel. It's to clean up messes you didn't mean to make.
You know
Oh
what? I keep forgetting to
wow.
pay attention to those little commercials because those are Easter eggs of
Hmm.
the things that have happened in the real world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was really cool. I was like, oh man. And it hits really hard too because you know she really didn't mean for things to go that way.
Exactly. She really
It
didn't.
wasn't her fault.
One of the
Um,
things that I wanted to bring up that goes along the lines of like people being conscious, but also being under her mind control. People kind of staying within the script and then also not going according to script. Like, there's this moment early in the episode where I think her name's Agnes.
Agnes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she comes in
mhm.
and she does something, and all of a sudden she starts almost freaking out in a sense, like as if she
She
forgot her
she
lines or
wants
something.
no, she wants to hold the babies and take care of them to get them to sleep and stop crying. And Vision, who's suspect of her, is like, "Nah, you're not doing that." And then she just looks at Vision, and then her smile goes away. She looks at Wanda. She's like, "Do you want me to go outside and like run it back from the top?" Almost like a scene for a
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
do you want me to run this back from the top? And the Vision's looking at her like, what are you, what do you
yeah.
mean run this back from the top? Like, what are you talking about?
And honestly,
And it
man, these performances that they're doing are so good.
good.
Like
Mhm.
because Vision is like, Wanda, do you really don't
Didn't
know what
see
I'm
what I
talking
saw.
about? Like, yeah,
Which, by the way, if you really pay attention, Wanda was also confused.
yeah,
For
Mhm.
somebody who's controlling them, for Agnes to be like, "Do you want me to run this from the top?" and she has some sort of understanding that this is like a TV run, type show thing going on.
yeah,
Wanda was kind of looking at her like I didn't tell you to say that. Like you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I'm going,
yeah.
like what? Like what do you mean? Like how do you have a realization that what's going on? Too much later on in the episode, Wanda kept saying like, "Oh, she doesn't even know what's going on. She didn't see the kids doing this. She didn't see that." I was like, just trying to reinforce the idea to herself that no, Agnes still doesn't know what's going on when
Mm-hmm.
clearly Agnes knows what's going on.
And so, yeah, that I mean, it's like those small little moments like that are that are even scary, you know, like
Mhm.
because it's almost like, man, it
And,
reminds
and
me of
speaking
that.
of scary,
Mm-hmm.
my bad, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, yeah.
Go on.
It just reminds me of like sometimes like you know those books that we used to read back in the day, like the George Orwell 1984 and like The Giver and stuff like that, where everyone's like just
Hmm.
so heavily under the government control that they're like scared to say and do stuff, you know. It even reminds me of this episode of the Justice League the animated series, where they're in the crime syndicate. I think it was like Earth 2 or something like that. And, you know, this guy was arguing with an official about, you know, being overcharged for like a haircut or something like that. You know, and then when the police pull up, he's just like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I'll just do whatever you guys say. Like, I'm sorry. Don't hurt me." All these different things, and it's almost like they have that same fear, you know, for Wanda as like those people did for the police and the law enforcement of that world. And so yeah, it's definitely an eerie kind of scary feeling
Mhm.
coming from how they interact with her now.
It gets even scarier.
And with real quick about the acting being amazing, even from these little side characters. Norm, when he was talking to Vision, the Vision does that
Mhm.
mind thing, which brings out his like real uncontrolled mind. He's freaking out. He's hurt. Like I gotta find my phone. Like I gotta talk to my family. I gotta talk to my sister.
Oh my god, that
And
was so
he's freaking out so much and in so much pain that Vision's like, damn, I just need to put this dude back under control to calm him
Mhm.
down. And
yeah.
immediately he goes from freaking out to just being like, "Isn't that crazy?"
Oh
and
my
that I thought
god,
that
that
acting was
was spot
amazingly
on.
good.
Spot
I mean,
on. It was so good.
I
Yep.
mean, drop of a dime, just
Mhm.
right back into character.
Yep.
Like, oh man, that was good
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
and
man.
scary as
And
hell.
it shows just how much like what Monica said. She is doing this for
Yeah.
them.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
shows just how much of an effect it is having on them and how strong it is. And
Yeah.
going back to the scene where they with the
Uh
drones,
huh.
when you see her walk up to the force field thing and you see the red eyes and she just opens it up and just chunks the drone right in front of them.
Yeah.
He's like, look,
She's like, "Is this
I am
yours?"
not going to let. Yeah, she's like, yeah, is this yours? Basically, she's like,
Mm-hmm.
I lost him once, and I am not losing him ever again. And you just see the look of like anger and just, just hurt in her eyes, pain. She really doesn't want to lose Vision again. She wants this,
It's a scary thing
even
because,
at the expense of other people.
and really at the expense of Vision also. Like you can see how
And Vision too.
frustrated and how
Mm-hmm.
like depressed he's becoming. Like he's like almost gonna go through his own psychotic break because like I think deep down like he knows, man, I feel like I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm here
Mhm.
and nothing's right. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just
Nothing's right. He mentions at the end of the episode, I can't remember my life outside of Westview,
He doesn't remember
and
anything that
she's
happened
just like, "Well,
before.
you don't want to know." And he's just like, "You can't
Mm-hmm.
make that decision for me." Like,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
but there was so much going on at the end of that episode that there was a lot of little lines because I went back and watched the last couple of minutes, and there were a lot of little lines that were being said I didn't even pick up the first time.
Mm.
Like I think it might have been Wanda that very quickly, when she sat down on the couch, very quickly mentioned, "I don't even know how this started."
Yeah.
That's very important. I don't
Yes.
even. You're the one in control of everything, and you don't know how this
Mm-hmm.
started.
Mm-hmm. I
It
remember
shows that
that too.
maybe there is a power struggle.
Yeah,
Maybe
I was gonna say,
somebody
is
else
this
is in
was this you
control.
grieving so bad that you did this unconsciously, not knowing it, or did somebody manipulate you from the
And I
outside?
think it's both. I think subconsciously she started it, right? Subconsciously she probably set part of it up, but then I think um, another force that's maybe not as powerful, but more of an opportunistic power decided this is my chance. I'm
Hmm.
hijacking everything
Mm-hmm.
and making this more of a hell for her. Like, and so yeah,
Mm.
I definitely
Which
mm-hmm.
probably is turned out to be Agnes's character, because as Vision noticed in the
Right.
episode, like when the dog in the sink and the Vision comes in and she's holding the dog and she's just like, why are you so formal, meaning why aren't you looking like natural Vision, why you look like your human self? Because I don't know, just got a funny feeling like somebody's gonna pop in. That Agnes pops in with a doghouse and he goes, there she is, of exactly what we needed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like, how come at all these important moments she's always popping up knowing just the right thing to say
Well,
or having
See,
exactly what
remember
they
Josh
need?
had cut in a little bit. He left a couple of comments before he dipped off because I guess he hadn't seen the full episode. But he said that Agnes is a Doctor Strange character. Um,
that's
so
yeah.
I don't know.
I remember I said something in the first podcast we did, Grumpy, when you were like, "Man, I really like Agnes." I was like, "Man, I hate to break it to you, she might actually be a villain." And
Oh,
you're like, "Oh, yeah."
I, don't- I do
I
remember
mean,
you saying something like that. I don't know why. I just forgot all about that and so quickly.
you're good, man. So I have to ask something. So uh, I'm gonna add on. There's a scene where they show Monica footage, and it shows her breaking into the sword facility, and she's causing mayhem. She breaks in, glass flies
Her
Wanda,
everywhere.
me.
being
Wanda,
Wanda.
right?
Yeah.
Wanda,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
And she steals Vision's body.
Just snatches it
And
right up.
yep. And going back to that, my question is: so we saw it was all like taken apart and everything, and in the last episode where he's like, "Honey, are you okay?" and it shows him like what he looked like when he was dead in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
What if she did bring him back to that state? What if that's the state he's in, but she's using her powers to make him look like what she knew him to be?
I think that's pretty accurate, but also at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, like, I don't know. I think that's accurate, but I think if she's powerful enough to do all of this, I think she's powerful enough to, like, make him actually alive, you know?
Maybe.
Um, because before we realized just how much control she actually had over everything, I definitely thought she was just carrying around the dead
I mean,
Vision, and this was just kind of
right?
her imagining it as so. Um,
She's powerful
That's
enough to completely switch around matter. She made
that's not
Monica
what I was.
Rambeau's bulletproof. Oh, okay, go on then.
Sorry, what I was saying is he is alive, but that's what he looks like as being alive, like the zombified
oh,
version. That's what I'm saying.
yes,
What
yes, yes,
that's
yes,
Oh,
doing
yes,
is
okay.
yes,
like
yes. I get
he's
that.
making it appear as if he looks like he didn't before, but he
Okay.
doesn't look like that anymore. That's what I was thinking,
Yeah,
or
I feel you.
theorizing rather.
So let's
Which
Um,
that would make sense
yeah.
because he has a Mind
mhm,
Stone in his forehead, but we all know that Mind Stone has been reduced to
gone
atoms.
from
Right.
existence, completely gone.
Yeah, and
No, it's not completely. It's just reduced to atoms. It's not completely gone.
I thought it didn't
Well,
exist in that universe anymore.
No, no. It's just. It's. I mean, what Thanos says is he says gone, reduced to atoms, but being reduced to atoms isn't being gone. That's just being
Oh, you know
at a
what?
molecular level
Yeah,
to
that makes
where
sense
that
because
makes sense.
matter
nobody can get
cannot
to
be
them.
created nor destroyed, only changed in form, assuming that they actually care about science. Um,
Oh, that's a good point.
so
We
let's
gotta talk about the very end.
that's what I was gonna say. Let's wrap
Mm-hmm.
up. Let's use these last we go a little bit over to talk about this last scene.
Yeah, those last scenes.
Um.
If anybody who's seen the 20th Century Fox X-Men films,
Yes.
this was a big moment. This was
Miss
a big because
Grumpy, that's why I was saying on the phone with you, yes, you've seen everything in the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
but like, have you seen these other Marvel movie properties
Yeah.
from like Fox? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Batman.
Because
And
he's honestly
yeah,
one of the best actors and best characters
from
in the 20th Century Fox films,
and
the
the
newer
well,
ones.
let's actually for those people who I don't know don't understand what we're talking about. I mean let's talk about just what are the moments leading up to that. It's Vision and Wanda basically
Wanda
blowing
having
up each other. They're blowing up on each other.
yeah,
You know, they're
Arguing,
having
because,
yeah, they're having one last like big argument. I think at one point they were flying up into each other's faces as if they were gonna
yeah.
fight.
mm-hmm,
And then
mm-hmm.
suddenly
Decapitates. Oh,
the doorbell rings, right? And Vision is like, "Well, okay, so you're making the doorbell ring, so we don't have to talk about our problems. Great." And she's like, "No, I didn't do that." And you can
Yeah, because she looks
genuinely,
just as
yeah,
sharp when
you can
that doorbell
genuinely
rung.
feel like, okay, I don't think she might be telling the truth. I don't think she's actually trying to do this, right? And so they continue to talk. They continue to talk. And then she finally gets up and she goes to the door. She opens the door. It flashes back to the main, not the main timeline, but the outside world.
Outside Westview.
And I think that's when it cuts to the geeky girl, and she
Darcy.
says,
Darcy.
"Yeah," and she's like, because we saw the back of the head of the person who knocked on the door, and we see the silver hair and everything. And we're like, okay, it
We
must
all
be
knew.
Quicksilver, her brother,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. You know, you're bringing people back to life that you care about. It's your brother.
And
They've mentioned
yep,
your
they
brother
mentioned the
before,
brother.
and you've mentioned him in this episode. So yeah, we expect to see him. But when they reveal who he is, it's not even the version from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the version from the
Days of
Fox,
Future
yeah,
Past.
the Days of Future Past stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and I was just there's only one thing that I can compare this feeling to when I saw that. One thing that I compare the feeling to when I saw that. Like, don't get me wrong, I was shocked. I was like, what? But it was like, I mean, spoilers for Arrowverse Crisis on Infinite Earths. But when the two Barrys met,
Yeah,
and I was
because you just
like,
weren't
Ezra
I
expecting
wasn't
that to ever
expecting it at
happen.
all. I wasn't expecting it one bit, none, right? And so when it turns it, and the funny thing is, he was the version of Quicksilver that everyone liked more, right? Everyone who had
Mm-hmm.
seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe properties and the Fox stuff, they were like, "This is a much cooler Quicksilver," right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it was very shocking. I was completely overtaken
And
by that
it
event.
wasn't even like, hey, he's Pietro, and it's, I believe the actor's name is Evan Peters. I'm not entirely sure though,
Evan
but
Peters. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
and it's Evan Peters playing him. This is Pietro. The movies, the main X-Men movies that he were in was in the 80s. This episode of WandaVision in the Wanda world takes place in the 80s. He's dressed exactly the same, and his personality is exactly the same. It's not even like, oh,
His
we just got
voice
the same
doesn't
actor to
sound.
do it.
Yeah,
It but just personality wise, the way he dressed, same. Like it's supposed to kind of, I mean, even though it's probably not going to be from the exact same Fox Marvel universe, it's supposed to, they're definitely supposed to give you that vibe that it is.
got it. Yes, and I just, whew, that's just
Could I?
amazing, man. I really,
Can I
truly
interject?
didn't expect that. Go ahead, Batman.
What's up, man?
Sorry, wasn't trying to
No, no, no. Go ahead.
interrupt
You're fine.
anybody. So if you guys notice, his voice has kind of sounds like Wanda's voice or
The
like
accent.
Pietro's voice before. The accent, yeah. So they did change that, but I did want to dial back one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we always been talking about in the end game scene when he says rain fire, like if he didn't do that, she would have killed him.
Yes.
Monica
Hmm.
literally says that in the episode. She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, they
"Well,
mentioned that.
Canonizing it is actually really important. Yeah, me and Obi were
that
talking
was
about that
so
earlier. That
cool."
like, yeah, we know that Kevin Feige did that interview saying it, but we didn't know if the characters in that world understand this is the most powerful person in this world right now, and probably in this whole universe, this person here. And so it's good to be able to acknowledge, okay, now
Mm.
as the people of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people now understand this is the one you don't fuck
How
with.
powerful.
You know, Thor
Yeah.
couldn't get to her, get there. None of these other characters could get, and Wanda was able to
Honestly,
walk them.
though, here's the thing. She's about, at this point, I'd say she's almost on, if more powerful or on the same level as Doctor Strange. And it makes sense because she's going to be in Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
They're
Mm-hmm.
about on the same level,
Mm-hmm.
which
I
is
was gonna say, I don't know if this
crazy.
MCU Doctor Strange has any type of, I don't know how far stretching his reality warping is. I know he can make you see stuff. I know he can put you into the astral plane, but not Monica, Wanda is literally
Wanda.
taking matter and
Mm-hmm.
changing a matter on a molecular level. She changes Monica's bulletproof vest into an entire outfit
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
still Kevlar. Like
Yeah.
I might
I
even
think
go
I
as far
think
as to say she might be, in terms of like raw just power and everything, she might just be stronger than Strange.
I think she probably is stronger than Strange. As in terms of raw power. I think at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, though, raw power is not going to trump
Without training.
Yeah, is not going to
Yeah.
trump experience and skill and wisdom and all that. And so, I mean, with everything that Doctor Strange has gone through, he has probably like a few thousand years of experience on his side, just based on the level of access to different planes of existence and time
Hmm.
manipulation. Like he's not just I've been Doctor Strange for 5 years. Like from his perspective, he's probably been Doctor Strange for a few hundred, maybe 1,000 years, right? And
And
so
I have all the knowledge of previous Sorcerer Supremes.
exactly. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm definite now. Now I'm worried because you didn't hype me up. You didn't show me that you could do 3 good episodes in a row. So now I want
Mm-hmm.
5 good episodes in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and I just know that
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be difficult. Any
Um,
closing remarks, gentlemen?
we did forget to mention one really important part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when she's leaving to go back into the thing, she basically gives them like kind of threatens them like, "Don't mess with me,"
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then she makes the soldiers point their guns at them, making it look like they're about to open fire
Yeah.
as she walks away. And it's scary. Like
That really
you know,
was. That really was.
she's not messing around.
Yep.
She's
I
Hmm.
not.
think that's an important thing to
Mm-hmm.
kind of leave off on too. Like she's not in the right state of mind, you know.
She's not.
Um,
I mean, she's angry. She's hurt.
and the stuff we talked about last, has it been a week since we've done this podcast?
It's been a week. Yeah, this
Dang.
the last episode came out
I
Friday.
think last
Last
week
Friday.
we were talking about how like where her mind and her headspace is, like, she's not in a good place, you know.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
so that's gonna make things pretty tricky going forward.
I mean, to add on to that, I mean, think about it from this perspective. Not only did she have to kill the love of her life, but after she did that, she had to watch him die brutally from Thanos. She had to watch him die
Straight up get murdered.
twice.
Yep, yep.
Twice. I mean, that could really, really mess up somebody, especially if she has powers like hers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's must have been hard for her. So, um, but yeah, we closing thoughts.
Man, like I said, it puts a lot of pressure on them for me to continue like this streak that they're going on with these great episodes. But they've proven that they're good at this type of storytelling. And
Mm-hmm.
so they even bumped up the time a little bit. I think there was an extra 10 minutes or so,
Mm-hmm.
6 to 10 minutes or so in this episode, and so I expect to probably see more of that going forward. But yeah, I'm excited. Obi?
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Uh, I mean, I'm excited to see where the show goes, and I'm excited to see what the implications of what's going on has an effect on the future of the entire MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, we already knew the show was going directly into Multiverse of Madness. We didn't really know how it was going into it, but now it's pretty much either Wanda's powers go way out of
Definitely gonna,
control, she
yeah.
busts open the multiverse,
Yep.
or somebody
Yep.
piggyback off of her powers from this
Based on this
multiverse.
episode, this is definitely going to end in this is not going to end with closure. This is going to be
Mm-mm.
a cliffhanger type ending
Hmm.
to me at this point.
It's gonna
Um,
be.
Wait, let me say
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
real quick. I was reading a comment from this Facebook group of mine. Somebody mentioned this might be the reason why the scroll that's working for Fury in Far From Home, that's pretending to be Fury, this might be why it was so easy for him to believe that Mysterio was from another universe, because as we know, this show takes place before Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
So, which
Mm-hmm.
means that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness would probably take place before Far From Home, dealing with the multiverse and breaches or whatever is, however they do
Yeah.
it. So they were just like, man, this could be the reason why it was so easy for that scroll to be like, oh yeah, Mysterio's from another universe, because they're probably already within that
Mm-hmm.
timeline. Sword and whatnot has already been dealing with other multiversal people
Yeah.
slash problems.
Okay. Absolutely.
Because I thought that was a nice little just
Just the
thing to
connectivity.
throw out.
They do a good job of
Yeah.
that. All right, thank you everybody who pulled up
Um,
and watched a little bit of this live. Thank you for everybody who just
Grumpy,
guess.
I didn't give a final thought.
Oh, I thought you started your final thought when you.
And I
No,
absolutely interrupted him.
Oh, okay. No, my bad. My bad. Go ahead.
no, you're good. Um, obviously this was a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
No chance of it not being a 10 out of 10. I definitely agree with what you guys say. This is going to be a cliffhanger.
Gotta
It's going
be.
to be sorry, you have to wait till 2022 to
Yeah.
see Doctor Strange 2, see what happens.
Yep.
Um,
Has to be.
and I'm so excited. And I believe the next episode is supposed to be the 90s because it goes by year. So I'm definitely excited for next episode because if you've seen in the trailers or teasers, it's kind of obvious what the next episode will be focused on, and I'm ready for it. Very ready.
Absolutely. So am I. Glad we have something fun to look forward to every week. And we're glad that you guys are tuning in to this with us. If you like the video, like it. If you think someone else might like it, share it. And if you want to see more, please follow us and subscribe. We will see y'all next time. We're going to stop the stream. Then we're going to stop the recording.